everybody, MagniFier here, and today I'm going to be showing you the Photosensitive running Microbug. So what it does is, as it's exposed to light, it'll move on whatever surface it is on. The things you're going to need in order to make this is a soldering iron, solder, a diagonal cutter, and a portable hairdryer or lighter, or anything that can generate heat. So the first step is to solder on the 6 resistors. The first 4 are identified by 100R and by the corresponding colors brown, black, brown, and gold. Those go into the position of Res 1, Res 2, Res 4, and Res 5. The second type is 220R, which have the corresponding colors of red, red, brown, and then gold, which go into the positions of Res 3 and Res 6. So the second step is to solder on the 2 light-dependent resistors, which go into the spot of LDR1 and LDR2. So the third step is to solder on the switch. The fourth step is to solder on the 4 transistors. To identify the transistors, on the flat side I'll have a corresponding set of numbers and letters. The first 2 are labeled as BC557 and go into the position of T1 and T3. The second 2 are labeled as BC547 and go into the position of T2 and T4. The fifth step is to solder on the 2 potentiometers, which go into the position of VR1 and VR2. The sixth step is to solder and screw on the battery holder, with the red wire soldering onto B+, and the black wire soldering onto B-. The seventh step is to put on the wheel and the diode. What you have to do is you have to put the wheel over the diode and then solder the wires into the holes next to the back cutout of the plate. The eighth step is to solder the sides onto the metal plates on the bottom of the chip. I wasn't able to do it because the solder didn't stick to the sides of the plate. So the ninth step is to solder on the jumpers or the little wires that come in the package from the holes to the copper strips that come out of the motors. The 10th step is to heat shrink the rubber wraps around the metal rods that come out of the bottom of the motors. The 11th step is to solder on the 2 LEDs, which, if 2 of the wires are connected in one way or another, could short out the lights. Or you can cut off the wire near the light and solder on that way, which greatly reduces the risk of short circuiting. So in order to power this, it requires 2 AA's. Now I'm going to show you this thing in action. So in order for this to work, you have to have light being exposed to the 2 light-dependent resistors. Without it, it will not work at all. So mine isn't going to completely work properly because one of the transistors has broken because 2 of the prongs have broken off of it. And so I can't solder into those holes. But if you do have it right, it should be able to turn on by either you turning this up and having it exposed to light, or just turning it on or off if you have that turned up already. When it's not exposed to light, obviously nothing will happen. But when it is, it works just fine. It'll start spinning and it should move. One thing I caution you about is don't put too much solder on this, or else the wheel will not be able to spin properly and it won't be able to move. So other than that, if you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, dislike it. Constructive criticism is always welcomed. And thank you for watching this video. Bye!